Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name's Ayaz and I've been practicing in the emergency services for around 8 years now, and 5 of them as a paramedic. And the reason why I started this YouTube channel is because when I was starting off in my career, at the very early stages when I was looking to become a paramedic, there's lots of questions that I had but never had the answer for. And so I decided when I became a paramedic that I was going to utilize this amazing thing that we have, which is YouTube, the hub of all knowledge in this era that we're in today. And so decided to make this channel so I can bring out all the information, all them questions that people have at the start of their career, during their career, even after they've qualified. So I'm going to make it my job to be the one to bring this information to you. This platform is absolutely perfect for that, and I thought, why not bring my love of paramedicine and this platform together, and let's see what cooks up. If you find throughout this video that you gain some value from the content that I'm sharing, or that this type of information might be useful to you, make sure you press that subscribe button and smash that like button, because then you can stay up to date with all the information that I bring to this channel. So in this video I'm going to be talking about the main number one way of becoming a paramedic in 2024. So in the UK, the number one way of becoming a paramedic is by going to university. In 2021, the HCPC, the Healthcare Professionals Council, they made it mandatory for all new applicants for their register who are from the paramedic science background to have a full Bachelor's in Science or a BSc. And so since that change, a lot of universities have taken up that program and have decided to teach that program. And therefore, because there's most institutions teaching it, it becomes the number one way of becoming a paramedic in 2024. But remember, that doesn't mean it's the best way. It just means it's the most sought after way. Now, with becoming a paramedic, it's a hands-on practical job which requires theory and knowledge, and therefore it involves specific educational and professional steps. These educational steps all start with your GCSE'S. Now, if you're in school and you plan on becoming a paramedic in the future, this is a time for you to start now. Focus hard on your GCSE'S, get a good set of GCSE'S. Some of the universities actually specifically require you to have A's and B's in certain subjects. Get a good grade in English, get a good grade in maths, and get a good grade in sciences as well. See, with GCSE'S now, these are the building blocks of what your future is going to hold in terms of an educational or a specific pathway that you're going to go down. For example, myself, when I was in school, I had about 3 or 4 different career pathways that I wanted to go down, but I wasn't sure which one I was actually going to go down. However, I knew it was important that I obtain good GCSEs, so I focused really hard. But the beauty of that is later, it opens up many doors for you. So a lot of subjects, a lot of career pathways, they require you to have certain GCSEs, and therefore I'd already ticked that box by obtaining a good set. So if you're at that stage now, work hard, because even if you don't choose to be a paramedic, it will still benefit you in one way or the other. So once you've completed your GCSEs and successfully obtained some good results, the next thing to look at is A-levels. Now, it's important at this stage to start having a look at what universities require, what universities you want to go to, and their specific requirements, because some of them may accept alternatives. If you are someone who did A-levels many years ago and have obtained a few, have a look to see if they're relevant or if they can be used to get onto a paramedic program. There are other vocational subjects that people may have obtained in the past, and some of these may actually be relevant, so it's definitely worth having a look at each university that you plan on going to and have a look at what their individual requirements are. But if you are at that stage and you've finished your GCSEs and you're thinking about whether you should do A-levels or not, definitely do your A-levels. Again, backing up my point about GCSEs, if you do A-levels and obtain a good set of A-levels, then many doors will be open for you in the future. If you don't decide to go down the paramedic route, you can always go down another route, and with that route, they most likely are going to require A-levels. So again, bolster these down, make sure you get a good set, and have a look at doing A-levels that are particularly going to be relevant to the field of paramedicine, such as chemistry, biology, a healthcare related subject. For me, the advice that I give to people at that age group is just do chemistry, biology and maths. I appreciate maths and chemistry and biology aren't everybody's cup of tea, and they're not their strong points, but what I found was having A-levels in chemistry, biology and maths made life so much easier for me. I've actually studied 3 different degrees, and I was only able to do that because I had the GCSEs and the A-levels to tell the universities that I'm eligible and I can apply for these courses. So it's definitely worth having a look at what A-levels you plan on choosing, and if you're at that stage in life, do your A-levels. And the next thing after you've got your A-levels is, of course, applying to university. Now, applying to university, you don't need me to go through that whole spiel about UCAS points and how many you need for each different degree, clearing and all of that. To be sure, there's plenty of information out there, but the next stage will be to start enrolling and having a look at paramedic programs. And for this, we can simply just head over to Google, search for approved paramedic courses in HCPC, look for the HCPC link, choose your profession, which is paramedic, and then there we have it, a list of all the universities within the UK that offer the paramedic program. Choose wisely where you plan on going, because there are pros and cons to all universities and pros and cons to going to specific universities in specific cities. So once you're on a paramedic program, this is going to typically last around 3 years. It's going to include clinical placements and academic study. Majority of which, if you're going down the university route, is going to have academic study and then some clinical placements. And these clinical placements are generally with an ambulance service trust. And it's important to do these practical clinical placements because it allows you to hone your skills. All the academic knowledge that you've learned, you can put it into practice out in the field. The academic side of things is going to include a lot of anatomy, physiology and pharmacology and pathophysiology of different conditions and what you might face as a paramedic. Okay, once you've completed your paramedic program, after the 3 years, you'll then be eligible to apply for the HCPC register. Have a look at the HCPC website and see the eligibility for the register, because this is what will decide whether you can become a paramedic in the UK or not. So for anyone who's international having a look at wanting to come over to the UK to practice as a paramedic, look at the HCPC website. They have a specific part of that website which is dedicated to international applicants. Have a look through, see if what applies to you, and you should find most of your answers on their website. But once you've qualified, you will then enter a 2-year NQP, which is a newly qualified paramedic period, which is a bit like the foundation years that doctors go through. And in these 2 years, you will have to prove yourself worthy of being a paramedic by means of a portfolio, which you will then have to submit after your 2 years period is over. And then your portfolio will be assessed, and hopefully you'll be signed off and deemed worthy of being a paramedic. So that's the university process in a nutshell. Let's have a look at some of the pros and cons of going down the university route. Now, universities offer access to extensive resources, such as libraries, laboratories, simulation studios sometimes, research facilities, and an experienced faculty. A lot of the faculty members, the educators, professors and lecturers, some of them have been paramedics previously, some of them bring other wealths of knowledge with them from other faculties of emergency medicine, and this is really good because it enables students to engage in deeper exploration and research. Universities also provide a unique environment for networking. You can interact with professors, as mentioned before, fellow students as well, and you can learn from each other, which makes it a great environment for these sorts of things. It also allows you to participate in various activities. A lot of the societies at university, they have activities set up where it allows a big group of people to go and experience something together, and that way you can learn and form a good network of friends and people that may be beneficial for you in the future. It's predominantly a classroom-based experience, so the 2-3 years that you're going to be at university, majority of this time will be within a classroom, and this leads to generally a higher academic standard as it emphasizes critical thinking and analytical skills. Through research, discussions and problem solving, students develop the ability to think critically and approach challenges with a strategic mindset. This is vital for being a paramedic because you have to be a critical thinker and you've got to be able to approach situations strategically. University environments often bring together people from diverse backgrounds, and this exposure to different cultures and perspectives can broaden your horizons, and this allows you to interact with a lot of the population that you're going to be dealing with and understand their points of view. University education fosters the development of various transferable skills. You learn communication skills, you learn teamwork, time management, which is very important, and problem solving. Also, independence. A lot of people that go to universities, they live in student accommodation. They learn adult life and what it's like living with other people, learning to look after themselves. Let's have a look at some disadvantages then. So, university education can be expensive. with tuition fees, accommodation costs, and other related expenses. This financial burden can lead to student loans and long-term debt. It costs, what is it, like £9,000 plus per year. So by the end of it, you'll be in around 30 grand debt. And then you'll spend a lot of your career probably paying back them student fees. Pursuing a degree typically takes several years. This time commitment may delay entry into the workforce, and some individuals may find it challenging to balance academic responsibilities with other life priorities. University route focuses more on theoretical knowledge than practical skills. Some professions, such as the paramedic profession, may place a higher value on hands-on experience and practical training. It's worth taking into consideration because yes, there is an academic aspect to becoming a paramedic. You do need to know your stuff. You do need to know your A&P and your sciences in general. You need to have a good grasp of this knowledge to be able to implement it out in practice. However, there is a huge emphasis on practical skills. A lack of confidence as well. So you'll find a lot of newly qualified paramedics that come from university, NQPs we call them, struggle to find their feet and sometimes feel out of their depth, because when they're deployed out on placements, they were always used to third manning and learning with a mentor. You know, that mentor is not going to be there once you've qualified. You'll get a job as a paramedic, and the reality of it is you'll be out on the road, and your first day you'll be put with a technician or an AAP or whatever you want to call it. And then you have to remember, being the paramedic, you are responsible. And this sometimes can lead to feeling completely out of your depth and uncertainty, and ultimately lead to a massive lack of confidence. Another big thing for me, and through my own experiences working with students that have come from university and only just gained their blue lights and ability to drive an ambulance, that lack of experience that they have can sometimes be very scary to be sat in the passenger seat. So that is it. We've reached the end of the video. That is my take on how to become a paramedic going down the university route in the UK. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, where I'll be uploading more videos on all things to do with becoming a paramedic and paramedic science within the UK. It's been great talking to you. Till next time. See you on the next one.